What's up? Good morning. New update on the markets, and the markets are going crazy with Dogecoin pumping almost 10x in one day. What's next? That's the question. Is Dogecoin an entry right now? No, obviously not. Avoid making mistakes with the money that you have. Do not start to chase any trades at this point, as that is only going to end in a failure, in losing money. It's just FOMO as well. That's what we often see. And you can just, if you want to enter Dogecoin, you can look at the chart and look at previous price action after such a pump, what usually happens after, which is a correction and just a plain dump. Dogecoin is often making those pump and dump moves. Very nice, as there is often the trigger of Altseasons as well. But after such a move, it is never an entry. And it's the beautiful concept of finding interest in coins that are not being shilled or not having the sentiment, as that is the moment you want to get in. Once you are in, usually the altcoin will have very big moves in general, and then there is never an entry again. Dogecoin was not being shilled in this area here, but then it starts to move, and all of a sudden everybody wants to get into this cryptocurrency, as because of Wall Street bet and some FOMO going around. Avoid making mistakes like that. Research the coins that you should be interested in, and avoid trading in Dogecoin if you're not really skilled enough. If you're in it, I would definitely take profits, given the fact that we just went 10x, or at this point are still 6x from the low. Levels to watch for the Dogecoin. Generally, I would just go and wait for the correction, the heavier correction. As you can see, it often takes time. It takes a very long time before it finishes its correction. Therefore, if you want to take a position in Dogecoin based on a daily time frame or the higher time frames, you would definitely have to wait a long time. If you want to take a trade based on the scalp trade positions, we got one. Definitely, this is one of the ranges that you should be looking at here, granting a potential bounce towards any of these zones. If this is lost, I would definitely argue to look at the range around 75, and then it's already full retrace. So there's two levels that I'll be watching based on a 30-minute and 15-minute time frame for Dogecoin. The one that we are currently bouncing on, and it gave one of those bounces already, as you can see. Very simple approach. It gave a 50% bounce. Holy moly. But still, that is something to watch. Probably we're not going as high as the previous one, but this is the level to watch. Similarly with this level here. So it's definitely a beautiful chart to scalp trade. However, I think the momentum is slightly gone. If this level is lost, you're looking at the range around 70 sets for a potential entry point. Yeah, that is the perfect on Dogecoin. But there's more altcoins showing such a momentum right now, and one of them is Phantom. As you can see, the moment to get into this coin is here. Based on a daily time frame, it is not granting you any opportunities at this point, as we just see that we're currently making a very big move, and there is a wick coming up, so there's most likely a full retrace, or at least a retrace coming up, in which this is the first level to watch. But then again, that is the swing trading approach. If you want to look at day trading approaches, you're going to look at 15-minute time frame, for instance. Then we're looking at this level here at around 400 sets, and we're going to look at lower levels. Quite tricky with Phantom in this regard, to be honest. So there's one here. There we go. So the levels to watch on Phantom. First level we are currently at, we might be bouncing a little here, we might be seeing a bounce already. So the critical part on those cryptocurrencies that are moving this fast is that you, if you are in, have a plan before it starts to run this heavy. As usually those moves happen in a very fast-paced motion, and then you have to make split-second decisions. Therefore you have a plan up front, and you know what you have to do when the price hits a certain level. If the price starts to move like this and you want to trade this one, you have to go towards lower time frames, define the levels that are interesting, accept that that is a day trade or scalp trade and use less liquidity for the trade itself, as there's definitely not a swing trade option right now to take on any of those cryptocurrencies. Then we've got our dearest friend Bitcoin, which is making some movements and still following the plan. The fact is that we are making lower highs and we continue to do so, as we are also making lower lows. People would argue that that is a falling wedge. However, I'm not a big fan of falling wedges it's after such an increase in price. The thing is the critical level that we had to break is the 34k zone. We are not breaking it, through which we might be getting a scenario that we are going back to 30k again, and then we get that corrective February month that we have discussed, as the likelihood of Bitcoin breaking or falling through 30k is significantly increasing the more times the levels gets tested. And as 30k has been tested many times, it is very likely that we're going to see a breakdown through the scenario that we have written here, through which we are also going to see the majors making a corrective period. Until then, altcoins can pop left and right, as we are seeing right now. However, you should be taking profits and you should be aware that those momentum is not forever. And therefore, if something runs 5, 6x and you have it in your portfolio, take profits. And if we get a correction, use that liquidity to buy back in or to accumulate again. That is my update for today, very small. I'll be making a new one tomorrow, and subscribe to the channel.